Hey, Ruth, good to see you.
You too?
All right.
Yeah. Are you doing Facebook? Should I get rid of the
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, if you want to turn off your thing for now.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. 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 Stand before you now. I set my feet on holy ground. To your Shekhinah Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. 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 Stand before you now. Set my feet on holy ground. To your Shekhinah Adonai melech, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam.
All right. Everyone can hear me okay? All right, cool. Welcome to session number 7, the last session of an endless flow of unbounded, never-ending sessions. a mere pausing point, but a shehechianu moment, because we're learning this practice, and we're going to complete at least the foundations of it. Let me get this screen share off here. There we go. We're going to complete the basis of the whole practice, and that will be the drawing of the tracing of the pyramids. And so I think what I'd like to do first, it's a light shining on my head. What I'd like to do first is go through the visualizations of where everything is, just fairly briefly. And as we go through it, I thought we could do it with the new prayer and affirmation sheet that I made. So what I'll do is I'll put that on the screen, and you'll see the names of each path, Keter, Aleph, Malchut, Bet, and so on. And you'll also see the sentences, which are the affirmation and affirmations and prayers that go with each of the paths. You won't see written there where they are, but I'll just say verbally where they are. And then we'll check in for a moment and see if that was all clear and good for folks. And again, like I think the most important thing at this point to try to have a clear grasp of is not where all the letter lines are, because we're going to say that verbally as we go along, but really what the positions are of the outer sphirot. So knowing that Chesed is to your right and in front of you at shoulder level, Gevurah is front of you, left at shoulder, all that kind of stuff. Because when we describe the letters, we'll be describing them in terms of connecting two of the sphirot, usually. There's the Aleph and the Tav are connecting to the heart, but the rest of them are connecting the different sphirot. So as long as you know where those are, then you don't have to try to hold in your mind and memorize where the letters are, because you'll see that as you go along, and you'll memorize that naturally as the practice goes on through the weeks and so on. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, can you see the affirmations and prayers there? Okay, I'm going to expand a little. Okay. So perceptualizing Keter at the crown of your head and also a few feet above your head. One reality. One reality, the crown of existence. The line of Aleph coming from Keter down into your heart. Awake now as the oneness of consciousness that I am. Malchut at your feet and a few feet below your feet. Your presence dwells as the essence of all things. Letter Bet, connecting the outer Chesed with the outer Netzach, which is to your right in front of you. Vertical line. In the temple of this body, Chokhmah at the right brain, and also the outer Chokhmah behind you to your right at shoulder level. Filling and transcending all form. Gimel, vertical line, descending from outer Chokhmah down to Tiferet, to your right behind you. Complete and whole in this moment. Bina, left brain, and also behind you to your left at shoulder level. May these words awaken the recognition. Dalet, vertical line descending from Bina down to Yesod. Behind you to your left, vertical line. That all is your grace. Dot at the mouth. May this realization, Chesed at your right shoulder and also in front of you to your right shoulder level, flow as love. Tiferet in your heart and also behind you to your right at hip level, and shine as light. Letter Hey, connecting the outer Chesed diagonally down to Malchut, and also Hey is in our chest. In my deeds, Gevura, left shoulder, and outer Gevura in front of you to your left shoulder level. Strengthen me to live. Vav, connecting outer Gevura with Malchut below you, and also the Vav is your spine coming down into your belly. Free from all impulses. Netzach, right hip, and also in front of you to your right hip level. Practicing constantly. Zion, connecting Keter above with the outer Netzach. Cutting through distractions. Hod at your left hip, also in front of you to your left at hip level. In humility and gratitude. Chet, connecting Keter above your head with the outer Hod. To receive this moment as it is. Yesod, lower belly, and behind you to your left at hip level. And serve you in joy. Tet, connecting Keter above your head with Yesod behind you to the left hip level. To reveal the hidden goodness. Yud, connecting Chochmah behind you to the right shoulder level with Malchut below your body, and also Yud is in your head. Of this simple awareness. Kaf, connecting Keter above your head with Tiferet behind you to your right hip level. Fearlessly I now choose. Lamed, connecting Bina behind you with Malchut below you. Bina behind you, shoulder level to your left. To receive your teaching. Mem, connecting Netzach and Hod, hip level in front of you, horizontal. Ocean of being, purify me. Samech, behind you, hip level, connecting Tiferet and Yesod. And support me. Ayin, at your right, connecting Chochmah and Chesed, shoulder level, horizontal. Horizontal. To see Pei to your left, horizontal, connecting Bina with Gevura. And taste the sweetness. Tzadi, horizontal to your left hip level, connecting Yesod with Hod. Of trusting and serving you. Kuf to your right hip level, horizontal, connecting Tiferet with Netzach. In the ordinary holiness of life. Reish, horizontal, behind you, connecting Chochmah and Bina, shoulder level. That transcends all understanding. Shin, in front of you, horizontal, shoulder level, connecting Chesed and Gevura. Please, Hashem, guard me to remain awake. Tav, connecting the heart down through the center of the body to Malchut below. And sincerely mindful. And finally, Nun, vertical line connecting Gevura with Hod in front of you to your left. That all comes from you, and to you all shall return. So take a moment to feel the 10 sefirot around the body and have a sense of the interconnectedness of the sefirot, the upper and the lower, the diagonal lines creating the two interlocking pyramids. Let's just sit in silence for about a minute. Amen. So let's see if we have any questions at this point about visualizations, where things are, how things connect. And you're welcome to unmute yourself if you do. Cool. All right. People get it. I think I do see some folks on here who I think maybe were not in all of the past classes. So it might, what we're about to do, going through the whole practice. Well, first we'll learn the final piece, which is the tracing of the 6 triangles. Then we'll put it all together. And just a note, to remind folks that if you didn't do all the last classes, you can, of course, go back and as well as the level 2, which is the Shema, and so on. So then let's jump in and do the final piece. So we're going to trace 6 triangles. 2 of them are actually the same triangle, but we're tracing them from 2 different directions. The rest of them are all different. So I want to show you each one, and then after each one, actually, please unmute yourself and let me know if it wasn't clear, because we'll just, if it's clear to everyone, we'll just go on to the next one. Okay, so the first triangle is traced. Actually, all of the triangles are traced when we chant the permutations of the divine name. So if you remember, with Chesed and Tiferet, we put our hand on the heart and we say Chamesh, Yah, Ha, Wa, right? And then we do six of those. That's why there are 6 triangles. So when we do the first one, which is Yah, Ha, Wa, we're going to make a triangle, which is, when I say trace the triangles with your hand, it doesn't mean you literally have to put your hand across where the triangle is completely. You can kind of gesture with your hand in whatever way is comfortable, because the point of the hand motion is just to help to direct the mind to do the visualization. So with the Yah, we trace from the heart down to lower Malchut. Let me back this up a little bit so I can show you a little bit more visually. Okay. So Yah is down, and in the mind, we're making a line all the way down to Malchut. The second line, Ha, comes out to chesed, and the wa brings creates a line to the heart. So notice that triangle is not completely part of one of the sides of the pyramids. It has another aspect to it, which is the line that comes from the outer chesed into the heart. Okay, so that's just good to note. So let's try that again. It's down is ya, ha is out to chesed, and wa is to the heart. Let's do it together. Ya, ha, wa. Okay. Any questions about that? Cool.
Where are you starting? Are you starting at the head where the yud is? Or are
Heart.
you just you're starting at the heart
Yeah.
and going down? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And with all of these triangles that we're going to do, we're going to start in a place that's in the triangle. And we'll go from one, we'll start one place and we'll end in the same place. That's a way to say it. So we're starting in the heart, ya, ha, wa, and we end in the heart. And all of the triangles that we trace will start and end somewhere. Okay. Now, one thing I want to point out is that when we did the line that came, the second line, ya, ha, we were saying ha, which is the letter hey, and we were also tracing the hey line, because the hey line goes from chesed to malchut. So that's just good to get. The other letters are not corresponding to where we're visualizing the letters, but when we do the yud and the hey and the vav, they are going to line up that way. Okay. Okay, so one more time. Ya, ha, wa. Good. That's triangle number one. The second one is the opposite of that. So we start with the heart and we're going to do the left hand, but instead of going down first, we're going to go out first. The letters we're chanting are ya, wa, ha, and it's going to go ya out to Gevura, wa down to Malchut, and then ha up to the heart. Actually, that I'm going to contradict what I just said, Rahmana, because I said it's always going to end in the place it started, but I'm actually just coming to the belly so that we can have the heart in the belly position. So we'll go out ya and then wa down to Malchut and then ha up to the belly. Okay, let's try that together. And also notice ya, and then when we say wa, that's vav, and we're tracing the vav line. Ya, wa, ha. That's triangle number two. Any questions?
Brian, we can't see the bottom half of what you're doing. Just
I know.
Okay.
There's not much to see. So when I'm doing it, I'm just gesturing down and coming up. I'm just making a light gesture, because to really trace it, you'd have to bend down below your body. And so this is really just pointing in the direction. So you're just kind of pointing down to Malchut and then pointing up to your belly. That's all. It's not that crucial, the exact motions. It's more just gesturing to help the visualization. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I didn't get what the three sides were. I'm getting heart to heart.
So the first one. So if we do
for the vav.
For the vav, we're going to go out for ya, and then wa is going down to malchut, and then the final ha is coming up the center line again.
But just to the belly?
Yeah, just to the belly. Yeah, I mean, of course,
not up here, but to the belly.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole line is there, of course, because we already visualized the whole line, so we're just tracing along the line that's there.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. All right. Ready to go to the next one? You can interrupt me if you're not ready.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have another question. Are we visualizing in the body that the yud is in the hay and the yud is in the head and the hay is in the torso and the vav is the spine, if we can?
I'm reserving that for so when we do the hay line, there's going to be a time where I direct us to visualize the hay in the chest.
Right.
And it's not at the same time as what we're doing right now. So you don't have to really be concerned with that at the moment. There's nothing wrong with doing it. If it comes to mind, if it just naturally happens, that's fine. But there'll be a different place in the sequence where I reinforce that. Okay. All right, the next triangle, I should say, the third one, is going to trace a side of the upward facing pyramid. And it's the triangle that goes from Keter down to Netzach to Hod and back to Keter. And we're going to trace that. The next two triangles are tracing that same triangle. Okay. The sequence for the letters is Ha, Ya, Wa. Okay. And we're going to do this a little bit differently in the sense that we're going to begin at Keter and we're going to come out to Netzach with Ya. Ha. Ha. And then trace Netzach to Hod with Ya. Ya. I'm going to put my arm up a little higher than it would normally go just so you can see it. And then Wa is back up to Keter. Wa. But then we're going to trace the Zion line, which is retracing the first line, Keter down to Netzach. And that's when we'll say the line, the Ashrei line, Zecher Rav Tuvecha Yabiu. Don't worry about the words now because I don't have them up here. But we can say the word Zecher just to bring to mind the Zion line. Okay, so let's try that together. It is Ha Yawa. Here we go. Ha, Ya, Wa, and Zecher. Zecher. Got it? No? Anybody have a question?
Brian, I thought we were going Keter down to Netzach, over to Hod, and then back to Keter. No?
Yeah. Keter down to Netzach, over to Hod, back up to Keter, and then we're doing one more line to trace the Zion line. So this one is a little bit different. Each of these things each of the pairs have their own quirks to them. I can't see your face of whether you're...
Of course they do.
How do you come up with this?
That I can't talk about right now.
It's so confusing.
Well, part of the idea is to allow the tracings to kind of double task, because we're tracing, sometimes we have a line which is included in the divine name that we're chanting, and sometimes we have another letter. And so doing it in such a way so as to make it part of one movement as opposed to a bunch of separate things. Okay, let's do the next one, which is the same triangle, but going in the opposite direction. So this is going to come from Keter out to Hod, over to Netzach, up to Keter, and then we're going to do the Chet line, which comes out to Hod. Okay, so the sequence for the letters are Ha, Wa, Ya. Okay, let's try that. Bringing left hand up to Keter, and then coming out to Hod. Ha, Wa, Ya, and Chanun. Chanun. Okay. So we just finished number 4. We've got 2 more to go. All right.
This is good for neuroplasticity.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. All these things are integrating several different parts of your brain at once. So it's definitely, well, it's good at any age, but it's especially good if you're wanting to keep your brain in shape. That's for sure. And again, I promise you, if you practice this regularly, it will become not an exercise for your brain anymore. It'll become second nature. Then we need something new that's difficult. Okay. Here we go. So the next one, we're going to use the right hand, and we're tracing the triangle that's behind us, starting at Keter. So we're going to come from Keter, and it's going to go down to Yesod behind us, and then to Teferet behind us, and then back up to Keter, and then to Yesod again, because that will be the Tet line, letter Tet. The letter chanting will be Wa, Ya, Ha. So let's try that. Right hand up, and coming down to Yesod. Wa, Ya, Ha, and Tov. Tov. That's the beginning of the Tet line. Very good. Ready for the last one?
So when you said Tov, you mean we're doing the line of the Ashrei? We're not saying the letter Tet?
Right, we're saying the line in the Ashrei. But I'm not saying the whole line right now because I don't have it on the screen. And that's the same for Zion, the Zecher, and the Chet, which is beginning with Chanun. So this one is Tov. Okay. All right, we've only got one more to go. This last one is going to be the other triangle that's behind us, the one that's facing down. So it's the one that connects Chochmah and Bina with Malchut below your body. And we're going to do it because the letter Yud is again in the divine name, and the last letter permutation we're going to say is Ha-Wa-Ya. So we have the Ya as last. So, therefore, we're going to take our left hand and point down to Malchut, and we're going to come up with Ha to Bina. Ha, and then go to Chochmah with Wa, Wa, and then down to Malchut with Ya, Ya, and that's it. So that time, we when we said Ya, we were tracing the Yud line. And that's it. So let's check in and see if there are any questions. I'm going to guide you through all these things, so it's not important to have remembered where all those things are. It's only important to understand the basic idea of it. Okay. All good? Yeah.
I just want to say I'm not asking for an explanation. I'm just letting you know I'm not visualizing it, but I'm going to go back and retake the classes, and it's fine. I'm just enjoying being here, but so you don't think that I'm sitting here. Yeah, I got it. I don't have it, but it doesn't matter. I'll go do it again.
Okay. Yeah, and there's a few different approaches. We could talk about also like approaches to learning, because if you're, it's very unlikely that anyone is going to keep up completely with everything that we're doing week after week, because everybody learns at a different rate. So the most important thing to learn it is to figure out for yourself what's the best way to internalize these things. And one way to do it, actually, which is not what we've done at all, but it's actually the way that I learn best, is to not go through the entire practice, but to take just a little bit of it and only do that for a few days until it feels normal. So in our case, that would be saying, Achad Ruach Elohim Chaim, and Hu Eloheinu Enod Aromimcha Elohai Melech V'varcha Shimcha Leolam Va'ed, and just doing that for a few days. So you have Keter with the text, upper Keter with the text, and then the Aleph line coming into the heart with the Ashrei text, and just that until that feels very, very normal, and then adding Malchut and the letter Bet. You could do that for 5 days, and then you could bring in the next one, and as Allison was saying, it's still fine though if you do that. It's fine to, just be in the space of the practice, even if you're not able to follow it through all the way, because what that's kind of like doing. It's not the same as practicing it, but it's like softening the soil. It's like preparing the soil to put the seeds in. It's like how children learn, or babies really learn how to talk. Also, like babies aren't trying to learn how to talk, trying to remember words and stuff. They're just in the field for so long that it just starts coming naturally. So those are two completely different approaches that are both good. Just being in it and following best you can without pressuring yourself. And that's one approach. The other approach is take a little piece of it on your own and practice it meticulously day after day until it becomes really easy before you go on to the next thing. Cool. All right. So let's do the practice then, unless I'll just, it looks like Susan, do you have something to say?
I do.
Cool.
I love Allison. I'm her study buddy. Anyway, I got Brian. This is how I study. I mean, I'm with Sen. Like on the first day, there was such community and there was really clear understanding, and I plugged in such a beautiful meditative way. I couldn't wait till the next week. But since that first day, I sit with this material every morning. So on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and Fridays, I listen to this class. But then Friday, when we have the meditation, something really happens. Because like right now, I can't believe what you said. And if you could see my little drawing, because I was trying to trace all this. Anyway, it is because of this directionality thing in me. It is so confusing. I think I'm never going to get it. It's all left brain and it's ego whispering in my ear, see, you can't do it. You can't do it. He knows what he's doing and you have no clue what he's doing. But Brian, when I sit with it for the whole week, like today, I was so looking forward to today's class, and now I'm back in the pit. And I can't wait till Friday, because you're gonna put it all together for me. But it's because, are we bundling all of these things because eventually these bundles are going to open us to something new? Is that where we're kind of going with this? Because energetically, after the first week, I felt so complete. I saw the triangle. I had a new appreciation for every Star of David charm I had, because now I see this in it. But it does, if you're right, if you till it and you work it, that sense will come. But today, as you were talking, I kept telling ego, don't worry about him. You're going to listen to him again, Allison, and it soaks in. It really soaks in.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, what faith is all about with a capital F. You know, So
Yeah.
I think I'm really grateful for this teaching today, but right now, ego's still kind of whispering. So that's all I
Well-
wanted to say, you know.
So you mentioned faith, and faith is, we can talk about faith in different ways, but the letter that's associated with faith is tsadi, which has to do with really not holding on to any of our own sense of how things should go. Doesn't mean we're not trying to make things go a certain way, but we don't have any ego attachment to it. Like we're like Hashem is in charge. That's the tzadi. Then you can apply that tzadi faith, or we could call it trust, to lots of very different situations. And I think when we apply the tzadi to learning, that's the thing that you were just talking about. And learning is the letter lamed. So it's really this lamed and tzadi alliance thing that I think you're talking about. And I never thought of that before, but that's a really good way to say it. And as a teacher, you know, I was a music teacher for most of my life, and I still am with my own kids, but I don't do it professionally anymore. But every time, still, when we learn a new song, there's that I can't do it. I can't do it. I know I can't do it every single time. It's never like just easy, because that's the impulse. You know, is when we get this new information that we can't really do, we can't really assimilate it yet. There's that resistance. It feels uncomfortable. But the practice of the tzadi, the practice of the faith, is just telling yourself that's okay. It comes when it comes. Just do it. Just try it. And eventually, you were asking about what eventually it is. One of the things eventually, I think, at least to get closer to this and develop this as best you can, is to have that, is to reverse that completely, so that taking on new things that are difficult actually feels like something you crave. Like, I want to learn the thing that I can't do yet. That's something that can really happen, where it's like after a while when you're doing something, because when I said before that this will become easy and then you have to learn something else that's difficult, I was joking, but I was actually serious too. You know, like that's, once this becomes dialed in, it has a different function than when you're learning it. Then it's something that helps you to stay connected with the energies of the Sphirot and the letters very effortlessly. But we also then want to learn something else, not necessarily with pyramids, but something else to stretch the mind and build the new neural connections. And it can become something that's very, almost something like that you crave, a healthy addiction to learning.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah. All right. So maybe we can jump in now. Unless, Allison, did you want to say? Were you just stretching your hand?
Can I ask a quick, very
Yeah.
practical question?
Yes, of course.
I would have thought the last triangle would have been wa, ha, ya. But you said it was.
Oh, that is what it is. If I might have said it wrong.
Okay.
You're right. Ruth
That makes
always
sense.
catches my mistake.
I'm sorry.
No, what do you mean sorry? That's great. She caught a mistake on the last PDF. Yeah, it was the PDF that I said an incorrect sphera for where Nun was connecting. So thank you for that. I corrected that and uploaded the right version now.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
it's a lot of stuff to keep track of, and there's definitely lots of potential for typos. So, all right. Cool. Okay, so let's go through the practice. All right. Here we go. Okay, this document is the latest PDF, and it will contain the triangles. I want to just show you what it looks like on the page so you know what's coming. So we'll go down to the first triangle. Okay, so it says here we're perceptualizing Chesed and Tiferet. And then we're chanting Hamesh. And then here's how it says to trace it. It says trace heart to Malchut with Ya, trace Malchut to Chesed, and it tells you that that's the Hey line. And we say Ha, and then we trace Chesed to your heart, and that's Wa. Okay, so that's how it's going to look for all of them. You're going to see these little parentheticals telling you where to trace. So for Gevura, heart to outer Gevura is Ya, Gevura to Malchut is Vav, and that's also the Vav line, and so on and so forth. Okay? Alrighty. Okay, so coming into comfortable position, alert, back straightish. It's a little too close. And bringing awareness to the top of the head. Keter is a sphere of white light. Achat. Achad Ruach Elohim Chaim. Seeing the upper Keter above. Hu. Hu Eloheinu Einod. Seeing the letter Aleph above your head and the line of Aleph coming down to your heart. Opening to joy and sorrow. Aromimcha. Aromimcha Elohai HaMelech Vavarecha Shimcha Leolam Va'ed. And visualizing that light descending from the heart, creating Malchut at your feet. Shtayim. Shtayim Ruach Meruach. Seeing the second Malchut a few feet below your body. Emet. Emet Malakenu Efes Zulato. Seeing the vertical bet line before you to your right, connecting Chesed and Netzach. The welcoming energy of Bet. Bechol Yom. Bechol Yom Avechacha Valala Shimcha Leolam Va'ed. Bringing right hand to right skull, seeing Chochmah at your right skull. Shalosh. Shalosh Mayim Meruach. Seeing the second Chochmah behind you to your right at shoulder level. L'Shem. L'Shem Yichud Kudsha Brichu. Seeing the Gimel line descending from Chochmah, going down to where Tiferet will be. Fullness, completeness of this moment. Gadol. Gadol Adonai Ma'olam Ma'od V'li Gadulato En Cheker. Bringing left hand to left skull. Seeing Bina at the left skull. Arba. Arba Eshme Mayim. Seeing the second Bina behind you to your left, shoulder level. Ushechinte. Ushechinte. Seeing the Dalet line coming down from Bina to Yesod. Recognizing that all is grace. Dor ledor. Dor ledor yeshabach ma'asecha u'gevoratecha yagidu. Bringing palms together. Sphera of Dat. Kakatuv betorato biyadata hayom bidchi l'urechimu liyached shem yodhe bevavhe biyechuda shalim b'shem ko Yisrael. Holding up right hand, lifting right hand, seeing Chesed at your right shoulder, Tiferet in your heart. Chamesh, Chamesh, and tracing the first triangle with your right hand. Yah, Ha, Wah. And seeing the outer chesed to your right in front of you. V'hashivota. V'hashivota el levavecha. Visualizing the letter Hey also in your chest now, offering presence, Hadar. Hadar kevododecha v'divrei niflotecha asicha. Lifting left hand, seeing Gevora at your left shoulder, Sheish. Sheish. Tracing the second triangle, beginning with your heart, out to Gevora, down to Malchut, back into your belly. Yahweh. And seeing that second Gevora in front of you to your left, at shoulder level, Ki Hashem. Ki Hashem Hu Ha Elohim. Seeing the letter Vav also as your spine coming down into your belly. Ve'ezuz. Ve'ezuz norotecha yomeru ugedulatecha saparena. Bringing right hand to your right thigh, palm up, Sheva. Sheva. And tracing the triangle that's in front of you, pointing up triangle, beginning at Keter, going down to Netzach. Ha, Ya, Wa, and Zecher. Zecher Rav Tevecha Yabiu Vatzid Chatecha Yiranenu. Energy of Zion cutting through distractions. Seeing the outer Netzach in front of you to your right at hip level. Bashamayim. Bashamayim Mima'on. Left hand to left thigh. Seeing Hod at your left hip. Shmone. Shmone. And bringing your left hand up to Keter and tracing the same triangle but going in the other direction. Keter down to Hod. Ha, Wa, Ya. And Chanun. Chanun v'rachum Adonai erech hapayim u'gedal chesed. Chet is the hovering presence, just being with this as it is, not trying to change and not running away. And seeing the Hod in front of you, hip level too, to your left, Ve'al. Ve'al ha'aretz mitachat eino. And bringing hands to your belly, seeing Yesod in your lower belly, Sphera of orange light, Tesha. Tesha. And bringing right hand to trace from Keter, going down to Yesod behind you, and then to Teferet. Wa. Wa, Ya, Ha. And the Tet line with Tov. Tov Adonai lakol v'rachamav al kol ma'asa. Bringing to mind the hidden goodness. Seeing the outer Teferet to your right behind you at hip level. Al Kain. Al Kain nekave lecha Adonai Eloheinu lirot meheira betiferet uzecha. And then bringing attention to the Yesod behind you to the left. Litakein. Litakein olam. And bringing your mind to Malchut, below your body, Eser. Eser. And with your left hand pointing down to Malchut and beginning to trace the final triangle, moving from Malchut to Bina to Chokhmah back to Malchut. Wa, ya, ha, ya. Seeing that final ya line from Chokhmah down to Malchut, bringing palms together in front of your mouth, seeing the Malchut there, chanting B'Malchut. B'Malchut Shaddai. And relaxing your hands, taking a moment to see the Yud now also in your head. And chanting Yoducha. Yoducha Adonai Kol Ma'asecha V'chasidecha Yevarechucha. And pausing here for a moment to see the Yud in your head, the Hey outlining your chest, the Vav as your spine coming down into your belly, and a final Hey in your hips and legs. And just staying here for a moment to feel the divine name in the body. And preparing for Shema. We're going to breathe in the letter permutations this time. It's 3 sips of air. Only I'll be saying the Ya Ha Waz. You'll just be breathing in. So breathing in Ya, Ha, Wa, projecting Shema up, left hand up. Shema. Visualizing the Kaf line, connecting Keter with Tiferet, fearlessness of Kaf, Kevod. Kevod malachutecha yomeru, gevoratecha yadaberu. Breathing in Ya, Wa, Ha, Yisrael, right hand down. Yisrael. Visualizing the Lamed line connecting Bina down to Malchut, yearning for learning. Lehodia. Lehodia livnei adam gevorotav uchavod adar malachuto. Drawing circle number 1, left forward, down, right back, up, following it all the way around. Right hand is forward, left hand is back. Breathing in Ha, Ya, Wa, Yadonai to the front. Yadonai. Seeing the Mem line in front of you at hip level, connecting Netzach and Hod, purification, Malchutecha. Malchutecha Malchut Kol Olamim. Umem Shaltecha Bechol Dor Vador. Breathing in Ha, Wa, Ya, Eloheinu to the back. Eloheinu. Seeing Samech behind you, lower, connecting to Tiferet and Yesod, feeling fully supported, Somech. Somech Adonai lechol hanoflim, bezokef lechol hakufufim. Second circle, right goes right, left goes left. Following it all the way around, left faces right, right faces left. Breathing in, Wa, Ya, Ha, Yadonai to the right. Yadonai. Seeing the ayin line to your right upper, connecting Chochmah and Chesed, seeing through things to their essence. Eine. Eine cholelecha yusaberu v'yata noten lahem et achlam be'ito. Breathing in Wa, Ha, Ya, Echad to the left and final circle. Echad. Seeing the Pei line on your left, connecting Bina with Gevura, anchoring the mind with sacred words. Poteach. Poteach et yadecha, umatzpia lechol charatzon. Bringing in light from the left, Baruch. Baruch. Seeing the Tzadi line at your left, lower, connecting Yesod with Hod, faith in what is, faith in what could be, Tzadik. Tzadik Adonai bechol derechav, v'chasid bechol ma'asav. Bringing in light from the right, Shem. Shem. Seeing Kuf at your right, below, connecting to Tiferet and Netzach, sanctification of the ordinary. Karov. Karov Adonai lechol korav. Lechol asher yikru v'emet. Left hand bringing in light from behind Kivod. Kivod. Seeing the Reish line behind you, upper, connecting Chochmah and Bina, the wisdom of not knowing, Ritzon. Ritzon yoyav ya'aseh vet shavatam yishama v'yoshiem. Bringing in light from in front with your right hand, Malchuto. Malachuto. Seeing Shin in front of you, connecting Chesed with Gevura, watchfulness, Shomer. Shomer Adonai et kol ohavav, ve'et kol resha'im yashmid. Seeing the Tav line once again, connecting your heart down with Malchut below, and we bring up the light from below with Leolam, chanting Tehillat. Tehillat Adonai Yedaber Pi, Vivorech Kol Basar Shem Kodsho, bringing the light. Leolam, bringing the light from above with left hand. Va'ed. Finally, the Nun line to your left, connecting Gevura with Hod. Va'nachnu nivarech ya, me'ata v'ad olam. Hallelujah. And relaxing your hands. Chanting Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha. Bringing right hand to your heart. B'chol levavecha, offering attention from the heart, lecha, lecha. Bringing left hand to your belly, uvechol, uvechol nafshecha, awareness shining down into your belly, spreading out from there to fill your body with light. Naaseh. Nase. Bringing right hand to your forehead. Uvechol. Uvechol meodecha. Identifying with the field of consciousness itself, knowing this is who you are on the deepest level, this open vastness, Venishma. Venishma. Kissing fingers, relaxing your hands, resting the mind from all of the visualizations, from all of the directing, resting it instead in the vibration of the tefillah. Atahu, 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 atyahi, 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 atahu, atahu. Come in silence just for a couple minutes. Relaxing the stream of thinking. And closing meditation, bringing right hand to your heart, offering awareness with Lecha. Deep breath in. Lecha. Bring left hand to your belly, filling the body with light, resting in the flow of your breathing. Naaseh. Naaseh. Bringing up right hand to your forehead, vast field of awareness beyond the body without boundary or border or shape. Venishma. Venishma. Kissing your fingers, relaxing your hands. May the seed of this practice that we planted grow into a firm tree, a fruitful tree. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechiyanu v'kiyimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh chazak chazak v'nitchazek osei shalom b'mamav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yal kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru Amen. Amen. All right. So we're a little over time as usual. Apologize for that, but it's hard to know exactly how long things take. But we're within only 6 minutes. Not bad. If anybody would like to go now, have a wonderful evening. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And we will do this practice again on Friday. If anybody who's on would like to say anything, ask or comment or anything, please do so. You're welcome.
Brian,
Yes.
I was jumping around a lot tonight. because tomorrow, not that I'm name dropping, I'm part of a group interview with the Dalai Lama. And when I got on tonight, I realized the lighting was terribly wrong. So I was trying to
Oh,
correct
you were preparing for the meeting with the Dalai Lama.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
well we can't fault you for that.
We had a long list of rules. We have to be plugged in this way and, et cetera, et cetera. And I was going to ask you, where are the lights shining on your faces?
Where is it?
Yeah.
Well, I have these track lights up here.
Okay. So
I
it's a
should-
bunch of track lights. I
Yeah,
think by tomorrow. Okay.
I go like that. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for bouncing around, but
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. Thanks for coming on, and best wishes with your meeting tomorrow. Did you
Right,
say it was
thank you.
tomorrow?
yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Wait, could you tell him something for me? I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
me
Sure.
too.
I have a list. My grandson gets first priority.
Oh, Dennis
going
is here, right? Yeah, there's
Pardon?
Dennis. Dennis gave me a painting of Reb Zalman with the Dalai Lama. There's
yeah.
a famous photograph of them together, and
Oh, I have the
it
T-shirt. Everyone has
Oh,
the
yeah.
T-shirt.
was- yeah, nice, very nice. Well, Kol HaKavod, have a wonderful meeting.
Why, thank
Should
you.
May
be
he be
fruitful.
well. May he be well and happy and peaceful.
Yeah, amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Or
Beautiful.
Brian, do you have
Yeah.
a sense of when you'll post this latest practice? Because my mind is much sharper in the early morning, and so I usually look for it then. But because it's pre-dawn, I don't want to be dealing with computers unless the new practice is there. Do you think it'll be up for tomorrow, or maybe the
Yeah.
next so it's more realistic?
No, I could probably get it up. I'm going to do my best to get it up posted tonight.
Okay.
So that you can, if you go to the Ruach Neshama portal, then I'll also post it on Facebook. But if you go there, then you'll see the 6-week course, and click on that, and then you'll see all of the lessons 1 through 6, and you can click on any of them that you want to click on. So that should be up tonight.
Is this a-
Unless I fall asleep putting Ani to bed.
Brian, does Cerise live in Ashland or,
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
so she's okay?
Yeah, they're okay. They're just I guess just very scary and smoky, and the fire went in the other direction because that's the wind. That's where the direction the wind took it.
Yeah, if it had gone south instead of north, we would have lost, my son would have lost in Ashland.
Oh my God. Fires in the West Coast, unbelievable.
Brian,
Yes.
My 3.5-year-old grandson wanted to know, he lives in San Francisco, wanted to know if we were living on Mars now.
All right. I saw the pictures. Amazing
Pretty-
pictures.
Pretty awful today. I mean, beyond anything.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Anyway.
like Mars. Yeah,
It's all good.
orange sky, dark orange sky.
Yeah.
We would say orange, right? Because you're Dennis, aren't you originally from the East Coast?
Chicago.
Chicago, yeah. So you say orange, right?
Yeah. Well, what else is there?
Well, Californians say orange.
Orange. Yeah, I can probably go either way.
Dennis, north or south side?
North side.
Me too.
Okay.
Reb Brian,
Yes.
is this the final version of this particular meditation?
It's the final basic version. Meaning that although I have to say several things that you've said, Rahman, have kind of inspired me to think about this practice in different ways. And one of the things you mentioned was I can't remember exactly how you said it, but just talking about the putting chesed and teferet together in the beginning. And I've experimented with doing it slightly differently. I mean, all the practice is the same. It's just a difference internally in the mind about whether to visualize the teferet in the heart at that point, or to visualize it in the heart when you visualize Tiferet and Yesod behind you at that point instead. And I like it that way too. So I don't know. So we may, when you learn that, when you internalize it, certain things will come to you. You'll individualize it a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that would be wrong is if you didn't, if you were thinking about it so many different ways before you actually learned it one way. That's kind of a barrier, because then then the thinking about it in different ways becomes an obstacle to actually internalizing it. But as long as you learn it in some way, I think it's fine and good, beneficial to try to experiment with it. It's like jazz music. Once you have the chops, you learn your scales and the chords and everything, then you can play with them and play them in different orders and different permutations and so on. So, but yeah, so this is the basic practice, but there's also another piece that we can learn at some point. I'm not going to put it out until there's a group of people that feel really confident with it the way it is. But this whole practice we're doing works very nicely with the Birkot HaShachar, the morning blessings, so that you can, in the morning, do this practice. And each of the morning blessings actually fits with one of the 32 paths and thematically in a very cool way. So I'm excited to teach that at some point when the group is ready for it.
And what about adding in that beautiful kind of poetic encapsulation of the kavanot?
Yeah, we could do that. I'm just concerned about it being too wordy, but that might work. So, and if anybody wants to experiment with that on their own, what I can do is I can make a version of it. I can write up a version of it and post it so that it's there for you to use if you want to experiment with it. And I'll
an audio version too, or a recorded Zoom?
I could do that. Yeah, we could certainly do that. Yeah, I mean, if we did that, then we could just do it live and then record that and do it together. So I'll make a version of, the first step is I'll make a PDF of it just so it's there for you on the page. I'll post it on the Ruach Neshama page. So in addition to the final practice being in the course, the final practice PDFs will also be right there on the Ruach Neshama page, so you don't have to go into. All right, good night, Allison. Thanks for coming on.
I think what I long for is having the practice just by itself, not part of a class, not part of anything else, just the practice.
Yeah.
Video, so I can be there the early morning and take it in that way.
Well, and you'll have lots of those because we're going to do just the practice on Fridays, ongoing now. So now that everybody knows it, sort of, you're beginning to know it, we'll repeat it every Friday together. And so there'll be multiple videos that will accumulate on Facebook like that. Plus I guess I could post them somewhere else too. I haven't thought about that yet, but there was one other thing I was thinking. Oh yes, one thing I wanted to say to everybody is if you're having trouble with it, okay, because I know a number of people are like not at the level of feeling comfortable with it yet. I want to suggest that you do what I was talking about earlier, which is take only the very first part and do it for a few days and then check in with me about it and let me know when it becomes easy. Okay, so that means like, one moment, just putting it on here. So each chunk of the practice is actually on one page in this PDF. So here's Keter and Aleph. So only practicing this page, the very first page, and do that for a few days and let me know how that goes for you. I would love to hear from folks, or even, a good way to do it would be to post on the Ruach Neshama portal and say, okay, let us know what your commitment is. Like, I'm going to do that first page for 5 days or whatever it is. And then let us know how it felt after 5 days and whether you feel comfortable to go on to page 2. Because the way it's organized in the PDF is kind of nice like that. It's easy to just do the chunks of the practice page by page like that. So who's game for that? All right. Good. Cool. Sen, did you want to say something?
I'm just wondering if anybody would like to continue a Wednesday night study group.
Well, we have, some, you could do that. So people could certainly do that, but I just want to make sure you know that we are going to continue meeting on Wednesday nights.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, that's what the Ruach, that's the basis of the Ruach and Neshama membership levels, is that we always meet on Wednesday nights.
Oh, great.
It's just that I carved out these 6 Wednesdays to say, let's learn the practice in these 6 Wednesdays. But it's in the larger, you weren't doing it before, but so it's new to you. But now that you're part of it, continue to come on Wednesday nights.
Great.
And in fact, that's a good, maybe other people don't know about that either. So let me just say briefly what the general structure of Wednesday nights is. So what it is about 3 Wednesdays out of the month, we just do the practice that we learned. And we also sing a chant, which is based on one of the Hebrew letters. And the other Wednesday of the month, so once a month, we go into a more in-depth study into one of the Hebrew letters. So another way to say that is that every month we're studying a particular Hebrew letter, and that we have a session of studying it, and then the other 3 weeks we are singing the chant of that letter, doing a little bit of extra learning on it really every week, but mostly doing the level 3 practice together. So it is a study group. There's always a little bit of study, but 3 weeks out of the 4 are mostly practice. So,
And we're
anyway.
practicing what we just learned. What we're
Yeah.
learning, what we were in the process of learning. Okay, good.
Yeah, exactly. Because the group before was also doing that, but we were doing a more simplified version of it. So that's now everybody is up to the same, or on the same page about what it is anyway. I know people have to still learn it, but that's it's a more substantial group now, so that's great. I know not everybody's on right now. There's actually 20 more people in this group that aren't here right now, but hopefully folks will learn it over time, and I'll try to provide other opportunities, other meetings and stuff to help people get comfortable with it so that we can practice it together. And I'm also gonna start doing the just the Shema practice itself on Thursday mornings. I thought I was going to do it this week, but I just didn't have time to get the communications together. So, but that'll be coming soon. That way other people who have learned that, because there's a lot of people who learned the level 2 practice that aren't in this group. So hopefully that'll get other folks kind of primed and ready to move forward with it, and maybe come into this group too.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Good night, everybody.